Hi guys, today I wanted to talk about primers, foundation primers, makeup primers, and the good, the bad, and the ugly. So if you're interested in talking about that, stay watching. If you don't know me, I'm Kara, CEO of a beauty company, and I am also a makeup artist. So I also have a supernatural approach to makeup, meaning that, or beauty at all, meaning that I love our faces so much and I find them to be so intricately and delicately beautiful that covering them up with a bunch of potions, pastes, and powders tends to me to seem a lot like covering a hardwood floor with linoleum, and super because I also think that enhancing what makes them great and taking good care of them makes them look all the more beautiful. Let's talk about primers. Lot to unpack here. So I think primers are one of those things that can really get in the mud and get a lot of things about it can get very confusing. The first thing I want to talk about is the primers that claim to be spackles, putties. Basically, they project the idea that they're going to cover up all of your unevenness in your skin tone, whether that be pores or fine lines, wrinkles, and then give you kind of a smooth finish that now you can put the makeup on top of, and now you're going to be smooth. Anything that promises that, I'm not saying that it's a bad primer, but I am saying that it cannot do what it is promising. If you realize and think about our faces, they move so much and they exude oil and sweat, and to put a product over it and think that it's going to just stay, even if it were to get in all of your pores, your face is moving. So if you can picture that, your pores would be exuding it and it would end up in a clump on your face. The more product that sits on your face, the more likely that is to happen. So what is the most likely thing that would happen with that is that it would create a very smooth, beautiful finish when you were finished with your makeup, and then you would walk away from the mirror, and as soon as you make an expression, it's now kind of worse than it was to begin with. So like I say, some I think name themselves that as kind of a marketing ploy, but then they know, because they're chemists and they know that can't really be done. So then they just prime in other ways that they know will make your makeup last and look more smooth. And I think that's typically what they do. But I think knowing that and not having that as your expectation is helpful. And it's, to me, I don't really like any kind of a marketing ploy that is telling you something that's not really happening. The other thing that primers can do is add moisture. And this is really the best thing that primers do, is they add moisture, and that makes your skin appear smoother. When your skin is plumped up, you can understand how that would make it appear smoother. When it has more hydration in it, it's more plumped up, the pores are going to appear smaller, the roughness will appear less rough. And a lot of times, if it's a well-formulated primer, it would be a water-based or something that's not going to stay too slippery for too long, where your makeup will be able to be applied right after it. So it's a hydrator that is going to be absorbed quickly. That's not always the case with every primer, so you just kind of want to take that case by case scenario. The other thing that primers will do is they'll put silicone and silicone, dimethicone, different kinds of, I just like to think of them as slippery products. They're smooth and they're silky and they feel so nice, and they can be very good at trapping hydration in your skin. But they also can make your makeup slip around a fair amount. So once you put on the silicone, you can see that it's kind of made kind of a slippery slip and slide for your makeup. And so it'll smooth on so nicely. But when it smooths on so nicely like that, a lot of times it will smooth off just the same amount of slip. So those can be another one that just gives you that really great look right in the mirror right when you're done. And I think with our makeup, a lot of times that first impression wins us over, and we use products that are not doing anything for us for years at a time, sometimes our whole life, because of that first impression, and we never notice the lasting effects. I think about this with so many things. If you have medication that you're using, and you get this first initial bump and it's amazing, and then long term maybe it has some bad effects that you never noticed. I always like to pay really close attention to things. I used to work at a steakhouse and it was brand new, and I was told, the owner told me that when they open the new steakhouse brand new, they get the best steaks in the whole, like they're very expensive and they lose money on their steaks. And the reason they do it is because once someone's had that amazing steak, they want to come back there forever. And after they've had that first impression, they don't think about it as much anymore. If the steaks get lowered and lowered in quality, all they know is they like that place, it's good steaks, and they don't really think about it. So think about your products when you put them on. See if they're doing not just good for you at the moment, but later on through the day as well. The other thing that a lot of primers do is they just soak up excess oil. So primers that are meant to make your makeup last a lot longer, they'll have properties, drying properties like alcohol that will dry up your skin, so that you can see how if there's a bunch of oil sitting on your skin, anything you put on is not going to want to stay, it's going to want to slough off. If you have something dry it up, it's going to be easier to adhere product to. Problem with that is a lot of times if they're too harsh in drying, then they can exacerbate the problem and cause more oil production throughout the day. So there again, even if you get that initial first, oh good, finally it's staying, it might then later cause more cracking and more oil production just because your skin's trying to even it out. And then one thing I didn't mention on the hydrating is the other thing that the hydrating, or the ones with occlusives that create a barrier, the other thing that they do is they kind of keep your skin from soaking the moisture out of your makeup. So if your skin's really dehydrated, it wants to soak whatever else is around it, and that might result in soaking up all the moisture from your makeup, which will make it look less smooth. And all of that to say, I don't know if you're seeing a theme, but I feel like primers are a quick fix for something that should be handled with skincare. So if you really need moisture, let's get that good moisture. Let's not get the quick one every time just so that we can apply our makeup right after. Let's get a moisturizer that really works for us, and if we have to give it some time to soak in, that's great too. It's fine to have some of these products for just a quick fix when you need to get it done fast. But as we kind of talked through, I hope you could see how they all kind of have like a consequence to them, and good skincare has no consequences. So good, happy, moisturized skin that is balanced will be the best application for makeup you could ever have. Exfoliated, moisturized, balanced, taken care of. That's going to be the goal. And anytime you feel like you need a primer, you're going to want to wonder, okay, what is this primer actually doing, and what could I change in my skincare routine to make it so I don't need that? So whether it's occlusive you need that barrier, let's get a moisturizer with that. Or if your makeup's being soaked up, you know you need more. You need more of that barrier, you need more moisture. And just balancing out your skin that way and not doing quick fixes. So I say X-nay on the Eimer's Spray and just get yourself some really good skincare routines.